Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarunari Jashodanandana Brojo Janarandana Jashodanandana Brojo Janarandana Jamuna Tira Bonochari Jamuna Tira Bonochari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarunari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
This is Ujjain, huh?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today we are very fortunate to have with us His Grace Udayananda Prabhu. He has very intimate relationship with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. His Grace Udayananda Prabhu is a disciple of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and he joined ISKCON in Detroit, USA in 1972. From his first day in the temple, Prabhuji was engaged in Sankirtan, and eventually he became Sankirtan leader for Detroit Temple and joined His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and His Holiness Vishnujan Swami Maharaj in the Radha Damodar traveling Sankirtan. He is very, very enthusiastic for preaching, and in October 1977, Prabhuji traveled to Vrindavan to be with Srila Prabhupada in his final pastimes and was engaged in massaging Srila Prabhupada's feet on a daily basis. It was here that Prabhuji first met Sri Srimad Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj and their friendship began. Since then, he has remained in close contact with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj and has great appreciation for Guru Maharaj's mood and preaching. Especially, we are very grateful to him. He has visited Ujjain many times on Vyas Puja occasions, and he enlivens us with his wonderful dancing and kirtan and appreciation for Guru Maharaj. He also joined in December retreat in Mayapur and Jagannath Puri. So we are very, very grateful to him for accepting our request to come here to guide us and enlighten us about Guru Maharaj's glories and help us to help us, guide us at this most needed moment so that we can follow the instructions of Guru Maharaj. So let us express our gratitude to His Grace Udayananda Prabhu by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra with raised hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His Grace Udayananda Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance when my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances at his lotus feet. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarne Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Iti Namine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I want to thank Rasananda and all of the devotees who have invited me to get your Sangha once again. And not just once again. We will, as long As there's life in this body, I am yours. And in any way, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Charu Swami, Guru Maharaj would want me to help you. I want to make myself available to all of you. I'll let you know that I've been in Orlando for the last 15 days with my son, Krishna Arjun Das, your god brother. He's been here 18 days. We're living out of this hotel. We came because we thought somehow or other we needed to be with Guru Maharaj. We needed to give Guru Maharaj what he has given the world for the past 44 years. He's given the holy name of Krishna. He has given Vaishnava Sangha, and he has given Krishna Katha. And it is unbearable, I know, for all of us. I cannot say, and I can't even look at that picture of Ujjain because it's breaking my heart. I don't know if this was a good time for me to come before you, because for the last 15 days, I have been tortured. I've been completely tortured. Because my best friend, His Divine Grace, Bhakti Charu Swami, I will not see until I prove myself worthy to be in his association. And this causes me great pain because I don't deserve his association. And he always gave it to me. And he gave it to all of you. And you're all so fortunate. And I am the most fortunate man, but I'm a great rascal because his standard of devotion was perfect. From the moment he came and shaved his head and moved into Mayapur, it's all perfect. So I'll tell you a little bit about my life with Bhakti Charu Swami. And I hope I can give some comfort, maybe some encouragement to all of you who love Maharaj much more than even I do. And I cannot think, except for Srila Prabhupada, that I love anyone more. So I first met His Divine Grace, Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, in October 1977. And Maharaj, as you all know, was Prabhupada's personal servant. I'd come from Detroit, Michigan, and I was traveling with the temple president, buying merchandise for all the devotees and for the deities, paraphernalia for the deities. And I got there on October 3rd, 1977. As we all know, Prabhupada was in a debilitated state. And I was very, very fortunate to be able to go into Prabhupada's room and associate not only with the spiritual master of the entire universe, but with many of my senior godbrothers, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Trivikram Swami, Bhakti Charu Swami, Upendra Prabhuji, Bhavananda Prabhuji, so many, Hamza Duda Maharaj. And it was quite an amazing beginning. And that was the highlight of my entire life, is being with Srila Prabhupada during his departure, or before his departure. And at that time, I got to meet Bhakti Charu Swami. I actually first came around the temple in 1972, and I was initiated in 1973. And as Prabhuji mentioned, I distributed books primarily from my devotional career. And so I pretty much knew all the sannyasis and all the older devotees, and never seen this sannyasi before. And I asked I was brahmachari at the time, and I asked another brahmachari, who is this? So, oh, that's Bhakti Charu Swami. I said, where's he from? He goes, he's from Bengal. And I said, Bengal? I know the devotees from Bengal. I've never seen him. He goes, oh no, he was initiated. He was initiated first, second, and third all in once within like 3 months. And I go, wait a minute, what? And then I saw Maharaj, and I thought he was so handsome. He was such a handsome. And I said, oh, this isn't going to work. That's not going to work. There's no way someone that handsome can stay sannyas. But Prabhupada knew. That wasn't the first time Prabhupada and Bhakti Charu Swami were together. We know for a fact now. We know for a fact. And the way he would move around Prabhupada's room was like a great dancer. It was amazing. It's kind of like when you see those Brahminical devotees, those pujaris that do all these mudras, they're making this. And Maharaj would walk around serving Prabhupada just like it was some choreography, some beautiful, beautiful dance. And I was like, wow, this devotee is really amazing, even from the first week that I met him. And he used to, I remember Prabhupada would call him. Prabhupada would talk to us in English, obviously, but he could talk to Maharaj in Bengali. And I remember one time he called Maharaj over, and Maharaj knelt by the side of Prabhupada's bed, and Prabhupada started to say something to him in Bengali. And all of a sudden, Maharaj broke out in a large belly laugh. And then Prabhupada started laughing too. And it was like I was watching something from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I was looking at Maharaj and I was thinking, boy, am I envious of you. You can talk directly to Srila Prabhupada in his native language. And it was so beautiful. And I thought, wow, that is quite an amazing thing. So Prabhupada had that very special loving relationship. He had it with all of us, but there was something extraordinary. And of course, his life is extraordinary. He's our hero. And I actually, in my heart of hearts, feel Guru Maharaj was Srila Prabhupada's best disciple. I say that even though I know my godbrothers are maybe watching this, and I do have all the respect and love for all of you, but he was the best man. And we lost our best man. We lost our hero. We lost him. This world has been deprived of the greatest benediction Krishna can do for this planet. There is no greater benediction than when Krishna personally comes or he sends his pure unalloyed devotee. Just like Prabhupada, he came, he said, I risked my life. And we know the story. Prabhupada came on the Jaladuta, had 2 heart attacks, so difficult on a cargo ship. And he came to save people he didn't even know. He came to save the world from people all, not even in India. He came to this barren wasteland called the United States, and he saved so many people. And I'm one of those people. So I'm so grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And I see Bhakti Charu Guru Maharaj. He is, just like they say, the fruit does not fall far from the tree. He also came and he gave his life for the same people. He showed by his example of how a pure devotee acts. In the Christian tradition, they say, not my will, but thy will be done. And Guru Maharaj was so perfect in that his whole life. And then this horrible last chapter, I can't stand it. I hate it. Even though, I know it's all purifying, but I'm thinking, he was not even an old man. He was not old. We spent that festival for 6 weeks. I stayed with Maharaj, had prasadam at least twice a day with him, every day. I went to every one of his festivals. I was at every one of his kirtans. We went to places in West Bengal to the festivals, and maybe many of you also went. There was 15, 20, the last festival, 25,000 people attended. And Maharaj preached so vigorously. And then at the end, he got 25,000 people to chant the holy name. And he was like ever fresh. So when Prabhupada left, Prabhupada said, I am going to leave you, but that'll take 8 months. He gave us like 8 months to like prepare our psyche. And that was so difficult. And we were praying, Krishna, you can change it. Krishna, you can change this. But, the pure devotee only comes to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead's desire. So Krishna wanted Prabhupada, and Prabhupada wanted Krishna, and they were rejoined in Goloka Vrindavan. But at least he gave us like 8 months to prepare. But Maharaj, he looked so healthy, and he was preaching in Ujjain, and he said, why am I going? He said, why am I going during this coronavirus thing? He said, because I've sent my devotees out there and they're preaching. And he's a great general. He's a perfect leader. And he said, I will teach by my example. And I will go into this place, this hellish place called America. But that we were not there, that wasn't intended to be his last, at least from my perspective. He was preaching so much. He was giving 3 classes a day, one English, one in Hindi, one in Bengali. He's doing japa, japa morning japa program with the assembled Vaishnavas all over the world. He's doing fantastic preaching. But he wanted to come to America because Prabhupada came and did that. And Prabhupada said America was very important to him. He said, America gave me men, he gave me finances, he gave me my service. And Prabhupada, Mukunda Maharaj told me once that he actually bowed down on America and sort of like kissed the ground when he came one time. So even American devotees have a hard time loving America. I'm one of them. But Prabhupada had that love. And without that love, none of us would have been devotees. So Maharaj Bhakti Charu Swami had that same vision that if we want to expand, he would preach he told me this many times, how he wanted to generate the fire of devotion like we had in the 60s and the 70s in Krishna consciousness here. So I knew that if anyone could do it, he could do that. So anyway, Prabhupada, I wanted to mention that when I first got to Vrindavan and Prabhupada sent for us. I was with Govardhan Das from Detroit, and Prabhupada, we got into our room, and within a few minutes, someone pounded on the door and said, Prabhupada wants to see you right away. So we went there, and that's when I first saw Bhakti Charu Swami. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj, I was on his Sankirtan party, so I knew him. And he stopped us in Prabhupada's garden before we went into Prabhupada's room. And he said, Prabhu, I just want to prepare you for seeing Srila Prabhupada, because when you see him, it'll be like you've never seen him before. And we are trying to encourage everyone to be very, very positive. No negativity, no complaining about this devotee, that devotee, no, just everything positive. Just tell positive stories, because that will actually make Prabhupada better. So, and he said, and as we were about to walk in, he said, oh yeah, and one more thing, don't cry. Don't let Prabhupada see you crying, because that makes Prabhupada feel bad. So I said, okay, and Govardhan said, okay. So we went into his room, we offered our obeisances, and we stood up, and there was Srila Prabhupada. He was being massaged, and Prabhupada actually was going blind at that time, and he couldn't even see to the foot of his bed clear. And he said, oh, who is this? And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, this is Govardhan Das and Udayananda Das from Detroit. And Prabhupada said, oh, did you get some prasadam? Are your facilities nice? Are you comfortable? Prabhupada was totally emaciated, barely had eaten in 6 months, and he was asking if we had eaten. And then he said, and how are the devotees in Detroit? How is Ambarish Das and Lekha Shavanti? And so we told them how they were doing, and Ambarish is also a good friend of mine and Govardhan's. So we told him all about that. And then Govardhan couldn't control himself, and he covered his face with his chadar and started crying quietly, so that Prabhupada wouldn't notice. So then Maharaj wanted us to say something really encouraging. So I told Srila Prabhupada about how we were distributing prasadam in the local neighborhood, which had a lot of urban blight. The city was kind of run down, sort of a slummy area. So we used to go out just from the temple, and we'd go down these neighborhoods and go on a porch, and we would just start having kirtan, and then we would divide the children out, and I would be the master of ceremonies, and I'd name one Krishna's Govardhan lifters, and the other one was Ramachandra killed Ravana boys, and whatever, we made up names like that. And then we would get them to chant Hare Krishna. And there was one devotee named Gaur Bhumi who would be the judge. So I would get them, and there'd be like 100 kids here and 100 kids there. And we go, Hare Krishna. And they'd go, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And then I'd say, well, Judge, what do you think? And he said, oh, that wasn't bad, but let's hear the Govardhan lifters. So they would chant. And then I say, well, what do you think, Judge? And he go, I don't know. It's really close. I think we're going to have to do it all over again. So when they would chant over again, and then eventually we say, it's a tie. And they both we give these popcorn balls out, 2 bags of popcorn ball prasadam. So I told Srila Prabhupada that story, and all the devotees were laughing, and Prabhupada smiled, and then I had to cover my face and I'd start crying, and then Govardhan started talking. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj was there, and he was kneeling. He was kneeling next to Srila Prabhupada's bed. And then I just thought, Prabhupada, all he was concerned with, he asked, how are the devotees doing? Are they getting nice prasadam? Are they getting, is their facility very nice, etc.? And he was never thinking of himself. And I thought, wow, this is what a Mahabhagavad is. So Bhakti Charu Swami, as we all know, had the same kind of mood. He never considered for himself. He was always thinking, how are my devotees? Are they getting nice prasadam? Not just his devotees, all devotees. And Prabhupada disciples, other gurus' disciples, he was always taking care of their needs. And when I was there, I saw Maharaj waiting on Prabhupada along with so many other godbrothers. And I saw Maharaj reading to him one time. And I actually got to be in the room when another one of my godbrothers was reading the Krishna book that was on Ras Purnima. And he read the 5 chapters of the Rasa Leela to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was like in trance listening to it. And Prabhupada had nonstop association, nonstop of devotees. And one of the things that Prabhupada was asking, he said he wanted all of his devotees every single disciple to come to Vrindavan and be with him. And he would ask this almost every day. And Trivikram Swami, I just visited him in Orlando, and we were in the room together. And I mentioned that, and I said, remember when Prabhupada said, why they are not coming? Don't they want to be with me? Can you imagine that? Why they are not coming? Don't they want to be with me? And then Maharaj said, and then he said, has my association become so poisonous? And of course, the devotees in the room hearts were cracked when Prabhupada said that. But the point I'm making is that Prabhupada wanted to be all of his disciples around him, all of his disciples. And, you know, I saw from that experience how Bhakti Charu Swami was always surrounded by so many devotees. He would make so much arrangement. He would have these festivals. He didn't even call it his Vyas Puja. He'd call it Prabhupada's Remembrance Festival. I mean, he was just surrounding himself and surrounding all the devotees with Harinam Sankirtan, Prasadam, Krishna Katha. And that was a perfect, I saw this is a perfect example. I have to say, I knew Maharaj for 43 years. And he was always like that. He was just impeccable. He was just constant, steady, 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 steady. And you know, they say you can judge a guru, the potency of a guru, by his disciples, right? So how great is Srila Prabhupada? And I have there's many pure devotees of Srila Prabhupada, my god brothers and god sisters. They're actually pure devotees of Krishna. Not me, but I know. I'm not a pure devotee, but I know how to recognize a pure devotee. And I saw that. I saw obviously with Srila Prabhupada, and then I saw with Bhakti Charu Swami. And my great fortune was I got the opportunity to render some service both to Srila Prabhupada and to Bhakti Charu Swami. And the most troubling thing, and well, maybe I'll save that for later, but I just want to go over a few other things that happened with Maharaj. So Maharaj, he, as we all know, he translated all of Srila Prabhupada's books into Bengali. And, you know, that feat is inconceivable because just to read Srila Prabhupada's book, all of Srila Prabhupada's books, is a very difficult thing to do. I've done it, but it took me years and years and much longer to read them than it did for him to translate them. So when you translate, though, you have to go and he did it just like Srila Prabhupada did it. He would, do the, see the shloka, then he had the Roman transliteration, and you have to go word for word. So you have to go over every single word. That's why if you notice Guru Maharaj's classes, he's not just memorizing a verse, he's kind of like speaking the language. He is speaking it like he speaks Bengali, like he speaks English. He's actually understanding it. He's understanding the Shastras on that level. So you have to go over each word. And when you go over each word, you're studying, you're accumulating. Then you have to go over every word in the translation. And then you have to go over every word in Prabhupada's purport. So that is beyond like serious study. That's complete absorption. And so he did that and accomplished that feat, which is that in and of itself would be an astounding accomplishment. But that's not all he did, right? Then he glorified Prabhupada, we know, with the Abhicharan series. Hundreds of millions of people in India and across the world saw that, never stopped. And then in the 90s, he actually came to North Carolina. I happened to be in North Carolina at the time. And I was living in a community of devotees called Sorabi Kunj. And we had a large common land and we were going to donate it to Guru Maharaj. And so Maharaj came, and then I started to associate with him closely. And I had an amazing, it's probably a silly kind of realization, but he was giving a class on the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is like 10 God brothers. And he would read the Bengali, and then the way he read it, it just dawned on me, well, he's reading it like he's talking to Krishna Das Kaviraj. Like I could talk to, an American devotee, we're speaking the same language. I said, Maharaj, you read that just like, I said, what is that like? He said, oh, it is so beautiful. He says, it is different than contemporary Bengali. It's like Shakespeare. He said, it's so beautiful. And I was like, oh, this person is amazing. So Maharaj used to come to North Carolina, and back then there were devotees like Srivas Thakur and Sripati and Gadadhar and Baladev, Vidyabhushana. These were older God brothers of all of yours. And Maharaj, he's a fantastic kirtan leader and bhajan leader. But he also was a tremendous dancer. I don't know if you know that. And we used to dance, as the Ujjain or Mayapur devotees know that I like kirtan, I like to dance. Lord Chaitanya said it's chanting and dancing. And Maharaj used to dance like that too. And we would dance. You can ask Baladev Vidyabhushana or any of them. He would dance for like hours in kirtan. Of course, he was younger at the time, and he was amazing dancer. He looked like Lord Chaitanya. He was a brilliant dancer. So we had many, many, many kirtans there in North Carolina, in Hillsborough, and then in Sravi Kunj. And then he also had a house. He had a house, and we used to go to his house and have kirtan there. Sometimes it was just like 5 people, but we would get up and we would dance like that in his house. So of course, all of that is churning, and I'm just getting more and more and more and more and more attached to him. And then the thing in Sarabi Kunj didn't manifest. I don't know why, but so Maharaj really wanted to do that farm project. So I was in the process of buying some land in North Carolina. I had bought 50 acres. And I said, Maharaj, I will donate you 10 acres. I'll just give you 10 acres. And then you can just come here, build an ashram, and then there's more land can expand and blah, blah, blah. So Maharaj said, yeah, okay, we'll do that. So that was very fortunate for me because I had a, daily call up Maharaj and to speak to him. And then he started inviting me to India. And so I go there and be with him in Sridham Mayapur. And then he said, hey, I'm thinking of opening a temple in Ujjain. And I said, Ujjain, where's Ujjain? And Maharaj told me that, it was a place that Sandapani Muni had his ashram. And I said, wow, that sounds fantastic. And so, everything in America seemed to be going really slow. But Maharaj, like in a very short time, found the property. And I came and visited him, and he had the property, and he took me there and showed me it. And then later on, it just so happened they were doing the cornerstone ceremony. So I got to be part of the cornerstone of that incredible temple. You're sitting there in Ujjain. I just saw it was just a pad of dirt, just a large spread of weeds growing, everything. But we dug it, and Maharaj orchestrated the whole. It was a beautiful thing. Like he did everything. Everything he did was just incredible. I mean, it was just like a thrill. And that was kind of like, of course, Srila Prabhupada did that in that way. Everything was just thrilling to be with Srila Prabhupada. And I felt the same way when I was with Guru Maharaj. I just felt like this Krishna consciousness is so attractive. What would you be interested in the Mahatattva, right? Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending like animals, when you can have this kind of sangha, this kind of rasa. It's no comparison. So then, of course, in the process, my wife wanted to take initiation. And so I asked Maharaj if he would initiate my wife. She became Rasheshwari Devi Dasi, and he initiated her in Mayapur on Ras Purnima, which happened to be the same day that I was massaging Prabhupada's feet and listening to the Krishna book, the Ras Leela, the 5 chapters of the Ras Leela. And then my son, I brought my oldest son to Ujjain in 2010, and I was praying to Krishna he would want to take initiation from Guru Maharaj. I strongly encouraged it, but he already had his mind made up even before I encouraged it. And he became, the following July, Maharaj came to my home in California, and he performed the ceremony just for just my son in front of our deities, Nitai Gaur Nataraj, and which was very, very special. And he says, I'm only doing this for Udayananda. He did say that, right? So Maharaj was extremely kind to me, and he just gave me so much mercy. I really did not deserve it, certainly. And so then we had this festival, as I mentioned recently, and I was preparing. I was actually, I just ordered a big altar from Ujjain that Abhicharan Das, I hope he's getting that built for me. But so I wanted to make this beautiful marble temple room, and I wanted, I had plans for Maharaj would come every year and visit me, but I wanted to increase that. And we bought some land. I wanted to get a farm community for him in California. And then one day my wife said, she came up to me and said, something terrible has happened. And she's never said that in our entire marriage like that. And I looked at it, and I thought to myself, well, maybe our house burned down, or maybe, someone just stole my car, and I thought, just don't let it be anything to do with Guru Maharaj. But it came to my mind, something happened to Guru Maharaj. And she said, Guru Maharaj has been put on a ventilator. And I was horrified. My wife actually is a nursing educator. She works in California, in San Jose Hospital, which was the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak in California. So she knows firsthand. She's very expert at nursing people back to health, and also the potential disastrous results that could arise. So when she said that, I felt like someone had just taken a knife and just shoved it in my heart. And I just felt like, no, I was hoping like this is just a nightmare. So I called my son, he was in England. Immediately, he dropped everything in his life. He has a very busy life, like all of us. He just dropped everything and he flew to Orlando to somehow or other be with Guru Maharaj. And I just dropped everything and I also flew to Orlando. Because for so many reasons, I just feared it's such a horrific. The world is in hell right now. We are in hell. The demons are doing something very demonic. They say this COVID-19 is even man-made. They say maybe intentional. That might be up for debate, but certainly it's an evil thing that actually comes from slaughtering innocent animals. You study, it's a horrific thing. It's demonic, and it's covered the whole planet. But the only solution for it is not all this, and what do they want the antidote for it, the vaccine for it. That's not going to cure this. The only thing that will cure it is the holy name. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama. Eva kevalon kalo nasteva 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 katiranyata. That's the only thing that will cure this disease-ridden world. And they have set it up so demonic that once a person goes into these hospitals, they're imprisoned. You can't get them out. And I just prayed to Krishna. I just said, please, Krishna, let me try to appeal. And I called up GBC members. I called up, everyone I knew. And I didn't know what I could do, but I knew that I had to be near Guru Maharaj, because every time something would happen to a devotee anywhere in the world, Guru Maharaj would drop everything he was doing to be with that devotee. He would travel 16 hours at a time because someone was, to surround them with the association of devotees. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. Prabhupada is Jagat Guru. He's Nitya Siddha, Uttamadhikari, Mahabhagwat. And Prabhupada said, I want all my disciples around me. That's what he wanted. And he said, one thing he said, and he said it every single day I was there for 2.5 weeks. Every single day he would say, don't take me to the hospital. I don't want to offend any of you doctors out there, because you're not a hospital, you're a devotee. What we did is we created a hospital room for Srila Prabhupada in the temple, so that we would bring the doctors, we'd bring the nurses, we'd bring whatever was necessary. But in these hospitals, they own the body once they go in. And Maharaj was completely coherent when he went in. And this is a travesty. This is what makes me cry every single day, that I tried to get devotees to be around. They wouldn't even let us into the room. We used to take, Krishna Arjuna and me, every day we would take cookies and cupcakes, prasad, to the nurses. And they would go, thank you, thank you. They were so nice. We just wanted to give Guru Maharaj what he gave everyone else. He would give everyone his association. He would give everyone the holy name of Krishna. He would give everyone Krishna Katha. He would give everyone, just surround them with that loving exchanges of Vaishnavas. But he himself was all alone. Now one might argue, well, he's never alone. Prabhupada's always with him, Krishna. Yes, that's true. But that Prabhupada's always with him when he was like giving a class. Prabhupada was always with them when he was chanting his japa, whenever he had a festival, Prabhupada. But Guru Maharaj surrounded himself with all of you. He wanted to be with all of you. And it breaks my heart that none of us were around him. He gave himself to all of us. And that is the greatest travesty. How has this happened? So, one thing, and probably I'm going to get hate mail for this, but you know what? I don't care. Because I care about Prabhupada and Bhakti Charu Swami. But this should never happen to another devotee. What to say, the best of our devotees, the number one disciple. He was all alone when he left this world. And he didn't want to go on the ventilator, by the way. I know that for a fact. So we made a mistake, all of us. We made a mistake. And we shouldn't let any other devotee, unless they want to, they should go with their eyes wide open. This is what is at risk. Because Guru Maharaj once he was there, he wasn't coming out. And no one could visit him. So me and my son took a tablet and we put on Ujjain, you devotees, chanting, and Mayapur devotees. We put on Mayapur TV so that we said, put it right by his head so he could see it or hear it. Now I was literally 100 feet. I was in the lobby and he was 100 feet upstairs and I could not go to him. I couldn't, he gave everything and I could not give back. In his greatest hour of need, I felt so helpless. So one nurse told us we could do that tablet. And so this was on June 29th, 2020. And I wrote Guru Maharaj a letter and I spoke it to him. I wrote it out and I'm in my own little heart, I'm going to imagine that all of us were with Guru Maharaj when I wrote this letter, that we wanted to be with him. My dear Bhakti Charu Swami, this is your brother, Udayananda Das. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm here in Orlando just to be with you. Krishna Arjuna is also here with me, and we are staying in a place which is only walking distance from the hospital. I was in a hotel across the street from the hospital that you are in. I have been here for the past 5 days, and Krishna Arjuna has been here for the past 8 days. We have been trying desperately to somehow or other get your personal association. But the rules of this COVID-19 disease are very restrictive. Hospitals countrywide have locked down virtually any visitations from anybody, including close family members. I am praying to the all-merciful Supreme Lord that he grants me and hundreds of thousands of devotees all over the world our heartfelt prayer that he fully restores your health and returns you to us completely rejuvenated. I apologize over and over to the Supreme Lord Krishna to please forgive me for taking your divine association for granted. Your blissful Sangha, your powerful classes, your beautiful bhajans and kirtans, and your unalloyed devotion to Srila Prabhupada are the very lifeline of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of devotees. Since that horrible day over 10 days ago, when they brought you to the hospital, my life has been sheer hell. Your disciples, friends, God brothers, and well-wishers' hearts, all of their hearts are crushed by your separation. I haven't felt this much anxiety and emptiness since November 14th, 1977. Your disciples are begging the Parameshwar not to make them orphans. You are a Paramahamsa and directly linked to the ear of Govinda. And I am sure that Govinda will fulfill whatever is your desire. I humbly ask for one request as your brother and your friend, that you ask your sweet Lord and Master, Krishna, to restore your complete health and vitality and continue your amazing preaching for 40 more years or more. Your wonderful disciples need you. Your wonderful disciples need you. And the billions of conditioned souls need you. And I need you. We need you like a human being needs water and air. It is not that a human being wants water and air. They need it. They need it to survive. We need you to fully recover and guide us in loving devotional service to Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. The Lord has empowered you to push on Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement through Srila Prabhupada's vehicle of ISKCON. You are so empowered to preach and spread Krishna consciousness because you have never concocted your own program. You only repeat exactly what Srila Prabhupada said and instructed us to do. On many, many occasions, Srila Prabhupada instructed the following, quote, all that you have heard from me, all that you have learned from me, you must repeat without any alteration or addition. No alteration or addition. But if you change my message with addition or alteration, you will be lost, close quote. Maharaj, there is no one in ISKCON that repeats Srila Prabhupada more perfect than you. This is why Krishna has assisted you with so much success. And that is why ISKCON needs you more than ever. So please stay, because this world is in a blazing fire. And the only way in this age of Kali to put out this blazing fire is the pure chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the lotus lips of a pure devotee such as yourself. One final point I wanted to make right now. I just wanted to say how sorry I am that in this most difficult time for you, I could not make an arrangement to surround you with loving devotees who could wait on you with their devotional medical skills. I also wanted to surround you with devotees that could tend to your spiritual needs of prasadam, the holy name, Krishna Katha, morning program, etc. Just like you did for Srila Prabhupada in 1977, along with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Upendra Prabhu, Bhavananda Prabhu, and others. Please forgive me for not being able to make that happen. I tried to bring devotees to directly serve you in your hour of need, but I was unsuccessful. Sorry. It was finally suggested by one of the nurses named Barbara, who works at your unit, that we could record on a tablet our greetings to you along with the temple morning programs and other devotional activities. So here we are. I am also looking forward to serving you in any way you desire in your recovery from this dreaded disease. As you know, my wife, Rasheshri Devi Dasi, your disciple, is a nursing educator for the past 30 years. And we have a crew of devotee doctors who will personally take care of you. If you so desire, please let me know how I can serve you in the best way. Your servant, friend, and brother, Udayananda Das. So Krishna, Ishwara Paramam Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarna Karanam. Krishna is the supreme controller. He has a transcendental body that's eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the supreme cause of all causes, and there is no other cause than himself. So, why Krishna has done this, I don't know. I prayed to Krishna, you've got trillions and trillions of pure devotees. We only have one, please. But on the other hand, Guru Maharaj doesn't have to be bothered by the pains of old age and disease. He has a total transcendental spiritual body. At this very moment, he's embracing Srila Prabhupada. He's with Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Jayananda and all my godbrothers, Jamuna Devi Dasi, our god sisters. And we need to be very intelligent now. We need to become like him. So I'm just humbly requesting everyone out there to please embrace this process. Purity is the force. Preach like Maharaj. Be kind like Maharaj. Be loving like Maharaj. Be happy like Maharaj. Maharaj was always happy in devotional service. He perfected his life. And here's the last point. He has proven that even in this hellish age, in the year 2020, when the world is filled with demonic activities, you can still become a pure devotee by following this process. Hare Krishna. Is there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, His Grace Udayananda Prabhu, for such a wonderful, heart-touching realization about our Guru Maharaj. You have genuine love for our Guru Maharaj, and we have seen the time how Guru Maharaj also shown wonderful love for you. I remember last pilgrimage that we arranged your room a little far from Guru Maharaj's room in one hotel, and Guru Maharaj said, "No, give my next room to Udayananda Prabhu because he loves me so much." So thank you so much. And the Prabhu flew 3,000 miles just to see Guru Maharaj at last moment, and many devotees requested to have class because they saw him. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So we beg you, please guide us time to time so that we can follow the footsteps of Guru Maharaj.
I want to let all the devotees
Yes,
of
Anandi.
I want to let all the devotees, especially you, Rasananda, know that my home, if anyone wants to live in California, you come and live with me. My home is your home. It's not my home. It is actually Guru Maharaj's home. I was just keeping it for him. And if you would not mind, I hope to spend more time in India, to be with you, to get purified by all of you. Because Maharaj, probably all of the accomplishments, in my opinion, that Maharaj was successful in was producing such wonderful disciples, that Maharaj's disciples are like mini Maharajas, like mini Bhakti Charu Swamis. So continue on in this way. You'll be so happy in this life. And in this lifetime, you'll go back home. Maharaj was separated from Prabhupada for 43 years. And now he's embracing Prabhupada. And you will all get to embrace Maharaj again, each and every one of you. You just have to stay as committed as him. It's when you have a pure devotee as a guru, he has a very high standard. We have to live to that standard. He was that way. Because if you don't live to that standard, you will disappoint him. That's worse than death. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Rasananda.
Udayananda
Hare Krishna Prabhu. We have Bhakti Charu Maharaj here. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj here.
Udayananda,
Hare Bo Maharaj. Hare Bo Maharaj. Hare.
I only want to request one thing. We know that you are one of the dearest God Brother of Guru Maharaj. Your position in a special place of Guru Maharaj, and the way you love and respect Guru Maharaj, it is a wonderful teaching for all of us how to respect a senior God Brother. My humble request, the way you are guiding us, not only continue to guide, I think Guru Maharaj will be very happy if you give some time in Ujjain. Because Ujjain has a special project. If you give some time to Ujjain and guide us, I think Guru Maharaj will be very happy. In a humble request.
Bhakta Prem, when I see you, I see Guru Maharaj. I see Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for allowing me to get purified by all of you. And I will certainly spend as much time as I can. I'm going to move to India. And I'm looking, I would like to spend like half my time in Mayapur and then the other half in Ujjain.
Yes.
And thank you so much. I love all of you so much. I can't go through a day. I want to say one thing. You said that Maharaj loved me so much. And I used to think, oh, I used to think Maharaj loves me the most. He loves me better than all my God brothers. Then I heard Indraduna Swami, and he said, oh, I think Maharaj loves me more than anybody. And then Radhanath Swami said, oh, well, he probably does love Radhanath Swami the most. But then I thought of Krishna. You know, the gopis, Krishna would get next to the gopis, and the gopi would think, oh, Krishna's dancing with me. Krishna loves me the most. Oh, I feel so sorry for the other gopis that Krishna loves me, but I'm dancing with, but then the other gopi was also dancing. So in the same way, Maharaj would extend his love. He just loved perfectly, spiritually, everyone. And everyone had the same feeling. When you went to Maharaj, see, what's very difficult is everything about Maharaj, the way he laughed, the way he looked, the way he quoted shlokas, the way he glorified Prabhupada. I loved everything, the way he cooked, everything. Even when he chastised me too. I was he would chastise me. Why are you being so much nonsense? One time I was late for, we were going on a morning walk and I forgot something at home. I had to turn around, go home, come back. And I was 5 minutes late and Maharaj was all ready. And he said, "Why are you late?" And then I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Maharaj." He said, "You're always late. This is nonsense. You're always late." I said, "Maharaj, I'll try to do better." And I was feeling total ecstasy. I was feeling like Advaita Acharya when Lord Nityananda threw the rice on him and he started dancing in ecstasy. So, and then later on, about an hour later, Maharaj came up and said, "Udayananda, I'm so sorry for chastising you." Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that a pure devotee is talking to a conditioned soul and genuinely, I deserve to be chastised. And believe me, I've had other God brothers chastise me way worse. But his chastisement was total ecstasy and he's apologizing. That's what you get. That's what you great soul, you fortunate souls. You are so fortunate. Somehow or other, you're so intelligent. You figured out in the youth of your life, this is the person I should surrender to. You are all the winners of this world. You are the greatest winners. Hare Krishna Maharaj. I can't wait to see you again. I may pass out though. Maharaj, you take care of yourself. I'm real worried, don't go to a hospital. That's my message to everyone. Just stay around devotees. You can get treatment at home. Make the hospital at the temple. I would have donated my whole fortune to Maharaj to build a temple in Ujjain or in Florida or wherever he was, so he could be just served by the devotees. That's my greatest pain. I'm suffering. I can't get this out of my mind that I was not with him. He was always there for me and I was not there for him. That's how I feel. I've let him down. So now I have to spend the rest of my life trying to make it up. I'm sorry. I apologize to all of you. I apologize. It should never happen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think devotees, everyone, they wants to hear from you again. We'll have another session with you soon. We'll let you know the time. I just want to read comments from devotees. They're so grateful to you for sharing such a wonderful realization. One from Chittahari Krishna Prabhu. He says, "Dear Udayananda Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, we are so grateful to you for taking and making the value association of our Guru Maharaj. Your love for Guru Maharaj is so pure and time to time it comes out in the form of tears. We always see you addressing your God brother as Guru Maharaj. That shows the level of respect you carry for your God brother, and we all are deeply touched by it. We beg you to kindly come to ISKCON Ujjain and revive us. It's difficult for us to face this and most unexpected situation." And another devotee wrote, "Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam. It was so healing hearing from you today. Please continue to be with us." And Sitanand Prabhu, Guru Maharaj's servant, was serving Guru Maharaj for last 1 decade in Ujjain. He wrote, he was so happy. He was actually feeling distressed for a couple of days, but he was so happy hearing from you. Actually, he wants to talk to you. I don't know if Siddhanath Prabhu is there or not. Hare Krishna.
I love all of you so much. I
Siddharth-
can't tell it. I can't express my feelings. And I tell you, I am so, I know all of you are feeling such great pain. It comes in waves. And I'll tell you, this happened when Srila Prabhupada left. When Srila Prabhupada left, you would just be like doing a few days later, and something you would think of what Prabhupada did, and you would just start crying. And I know that's going on with all of you. I know. And you know what? Prabhupada said, lamentation means purification. That Maharaj, you have to understand, he is Mahabhagavad. And by the way, just to be clear, I call him Guru Maharaj because he is my Shiksha Guru. He is my Shiksha. Even I joined the movement before him. That doesn't mean anything. Sukadeva Goswami was 16 years old. There were sages that were like 100,000 years old, right? But they sat at the feet of Sukadeva. So Maharaj, there's no question. And many of, even my older God brothers even say that about Maharaj. Maharaj, the whole movement, we should become a movement of Bhakti Charu Swamis. If we had a movement like that, then the whole world would become Krishna conscious. That's a fact. The only reason, he's pure devotee. That's it. He's a pure devotee. You don't have to like dance around. And one time I called him His Divine Grace. He chastised me for that too. So the GBC said you can't say that. And I said, the GBC is for everyone else. He's not for me. I'm going to call you here His Divine Grace. He got very angry with me, but I don't care. I mean, I do care. I don't want to commit offense to Maharaj, but he was my best friend. He was my master. He is my master. It's not past tense. He's still here. He still has his books. You can go see his videos and cry. That's what I'm doing. I'm watching his videos and I think, Krishna, I can't, how is this possible? I was supposed to die first. And how is it possible? It is so stunning, but this pastime, you could call it pastime. Well, to me, it's horrific. It's horror. It's like, but let's just say it's a pastime. He has proven he's such a hero. He gave his life. And what was his last words? I'll do whatever my disciples want me to do. That is your Guru Maharaj. That's who he was. That's who he is.
Can you put the lights on? They've asked me to come on the video.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna.